I want to just give you a 2-minute background on myself and, just how Sound Mind came to be. Before opening Sound Mind about 12 years ago, I worked at a hospital. I worked in their inpatient and their outpatient program. And while I was there, definitely, you're going to see, the type of people that you expect to see in that level, that high level of care,
Yeah.
which are the very mentally ill. But that's not who caught my attention. Who caught my attention were the people that kind of just were living life, and it just was kicking them in the butt, and it kept on piling up until they were in breakdown. Either they had tried to hurt themselves, or they were just in a bad frame of mind. And what I never understood was, is if I was doing an assessment with someone and they weren't quite broken down enough, I'd have to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you're going to have to find a therapist, which never made any sense. It's like, that's when they need you. And so I was kind of it was bugging me, and I was kind of waking up with this and going to sleep with this. And one day I'm driving down the street, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this urgent care. And I thought, you know what? You can walk in there to get help. You can walk in to get your nails done. You can walk in to get your hair and your massages and chiropractics, all these different things for immediate gratification. But what about when you're just having everyday life challenges? So I really kind of just decided to kind of act on this, and I opened Sound Mind with the idea of challenging the paradigm of counseling away from the medical model of diagnosis and what's wrong with you into much more of a educational, kind of trying to, look at, the whys and what strategies and education that might be necessary to kind of interrupt some of the life cycles. So anyway, that's what I did. And now, having said that, I am a licensed professional counselor, and even though I've been taking a kind of, an approach that is a little different than other therapists, I still abide by all the compliances of my licensure. Have you been in counseling before?
No.
No. Okay. So, what I'm going to go over is something called an informed consent. And basically, that's exactly what it is. It's just kind of what to expect in counseling. And the first thing is that when, so everything remains confidential, the only exceptions to confidentiality are if you ever tell me that you're in danger of hurting yourself, or someone else is in danger, a child, an elderly person. I'm a mandated reporter, and that's something to report. Now, I'd like to clarify something, and that is that I'm not talking about having thoughts of hurting yourself or suicide. I mean, I kind of think it's common, and even to the extent of what would I do? I would, go jump off a bridge. I don't know. But that's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is people that are, past that towards an intention, like, I'm going to do it. It's a done deal. Right. So that's a call for action. The other things that I just kind of want to go over is I take notes during the session, and then I send them to you. And honest to God, Christina, it started really, authentically, because I was in counseling, and the therapist was writing all this kind of stuff down, and I'm kind of going like this, what is she writing? So I love transparency. Whatever I am writing, it is we're in collaboration, and so it's for for you. It's going to be a summary of what we talk about. If there are some strategies, they'll be there for you to refer back to. It also
totally.
Yeah, so it also it's a great place to look for patterns and themes and kind of things that keep showing up. As far as diagnosing, I feel that that's more the medical model, and insurance companies are require diagnosis. So for that reason, I always use a very benign diagnosis, which is adjustment disorder. And meaning who's not adjusting to life stuff all the time. Now, as far as the insurance, if you decide to try to put it through your insurance, it would go through your out-of-network benefit. I will send you what's called a super bill. We're in the same place that I'm sending you your notes in your client portal, and so you can submit it to your insurance, but it goes directly back. They'll reimburse you directly. It doesn't go through us. So just FYI.
Got it.
As far as I always talk about, I am not here to play expert. What I really believe is that we're all experts in our own lives. And so, if you're ever if I'm ever going down in a direction and you're like, no, you're off here, you're wrong. Tell me for sure.
Okay.
But the other side of it is, if you ever kind of are like, I don't know, you're going to hear me say time and time again, it's quite possible you just haven't accessed your own knowing. And so that's what we're trying to get to, is trying to figure out, because it's sitting within you. So, but most of the time we don't trust ourselves. We're always kind of questioning and, am I crazy here? So that's important, because that inner knowing, it's your guidance system. And you're going to, you'll hear me time again and wanting to access that inner knowing. So individual sessions are $175 for the 50 minutes. Today's 2 hours, so it's $350 for today. If you come in with 2 or more people ever, it's $200 for the 50 minutes, and then more than 2 people, it's $250. As far as cancellations, did you get a 24-hour cancellation notice by any chance?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Oh, rightfully so. Oh, by the way. Okay, so since, you will get a 24-hour cancellation, a notice for your appointment. And so, right, because I didn't have you on my calendar. That's why you didn't get.
Didn't, but I think for the one a month ago, I definitely got an appointment.
Okay, so if you don't receive one, for sure call me and contact me, because there's something wrong.
Okay.
And that's also, if you need to cancel, just cancel within the 24 hours. Otherwise, it's going to be a full charge. Now, I have to say that if something happens, for goodness sake, it's my pleasure to make it up. But if we can try to do it within the week, and just that it fits both of our schedules type of thing, that would be great.
Great.
Okay. And then, I just like to kind of just, give you just an overall of my philosophy, which is that, I have never met anyone that has escaped being a victim of sorts, a victim of circumstances. Someone has done something to them. But I'm always going to ask you to turn the attention inward. And the reason being is for the mere fact that you don't have control over other people. You only ultimately have control over how you want to think about it, and more importantly, how you want to respond. Not react. Reaction, you have no control over. But it's more that when you decide that to respond, it's very aligned with the person that you want to show up to be and the kind of life that you want to live. So that making sure that response is congruent with that. Is that all making sense?
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so